Hey, Aiden Rigg here with Lead Freak Academy. I wanted to carry on from yesterday's topic and kind of refresh where we are and then where we're headed. Yesterday we spoke about the first part of sustainability or selling sustainability. And today we're going to continue on. Now, specifically what we spoke about the difference between market share and profitability. And it's essentially the time or the value or both that you're adding to your customer. So if you are just simply in a transactional sale with your prospect, with your customer, then you're simply dropping a box, they're paying a price. So Amazon is a transactional relationship. Being with Walmart is traditionally a transactional relationship. You walk in, their lowest price, or at least you think their lowest price. You get it because they're low price. They're going to have the inventory. You get the product fast. Or Amazon, low price, you get it fast. You don't have to go shopping. You're getting value in that sense, but there's not a lot of time invested. As you need to move up the ladder, and this is what we need to do in B2B selling. We need to add more value. If we don't add value, then they don't need a salesperson. They can simply just have a transactional relationship, have a website, and go in, sales in, sales out, like Amazon. So as B2B salespeople, as entrepreneurs, as people that are growing revenue for our organizations, we have to be able to add value. And value is added in the sense of the amount of time that you spend with the organization, with your prospect, and what are you giving them in response to that time. So as you invest more time, the customer is utilizing your time. They're appreciating that time. You're giving them something of value, so they're giving you more attention. So the time is an investment of the customer, and the time is the investment of you. And as you move up the ladder from market share or transactional selling up to profitability and creating an actual trusted advisor or an advisor role, insightful to your prospect, then we need to move up the ladder. And in commercial selling and selling cleaning, what we need to do is we need to change the game from here's the product or service we deliver to B players selling green cleaning and helping people be greener, to where when we move up to A players, B plus, A players, A organizations, the A salespeople, what they're doing is they're changing the focus from transactional, from green to sustainability. Right? And sustainability is what your prospects want. They might not even know it, but they want a sustainable position. They want to utilize sustainability in their organization because sustainability reduces a lot of things. It adds value to an organization. So sustainability is the centerpiece or the synergy of the three pillars of sustainability, of people, planet, and profit. Right? So when you are impacting the people, when you are impacting the planet in a positive way, those two things naturally, the outcomes of helping people, improving the lives and the productivity of people, and reducing the impact on the planet, such as resources, things like that. When those two things are working harmoniously, then profitability or more profits is realized by an organization. And when those three are working together, that's how you're going to make a difference in your prospect's business. So we want to recognize that essentially sustainability is about risk reduction, right? Everything about sustainability that I see is about reducing the risk associated with not being sustainable. So you're reducing the risk to the people that are involved in a building, that live in a building, that work in a building. You're reducing the risk to the planet by reducing the impact, reducing water consumption, reducing energy costs, the risk. And those two risks, people and planet, produce better profits, more profitability for an organization. And so when those three pillars of sustainability are working together, what we're essentially doing is reducing the risk associated to the organization and to our customers. So we want to take our customer from being transactional to green to ultimately to sustainability. And that's not something you do in one swoop. It's something that you work towards. And so when you are working towards it, then you always have a reason to be in front of your customer. And you help them move up that ladder, up that grid to being full with sustainability. And then when you get there, you're still always managing new issues, new outcomes, new potentials, new problems. So it's not like you ever fully get there. You are working with them. But it's your insights, your values, your value that you give them, that the organization takes or receives. And in placement of that, they buy your products or services. So they don't buy your products and services because your products or services are better than everybody else's. They buy your products or services because the value you add helps them with their organization. Okay? So we need to recognize that to think that we can clean better than somebody else is subjective, right? And your customer's not going to believe that. They might believe it after you've done it for a while, what have you, but they're not essentially going to believe that. What you need to do is change the game. You need to show them another opportunity. They think of you as cleaning. They think of you as just, make it look good, make it smell good, and make my tenants happy. And you are going to show them the things that you can do that you can help them add value and profitability and reduce expenses to their organization. So that's what we're really talking about. And so to carry on from yesterday's topic, Hello. All right, so today we want to look at reducing materials and water consumption costs. So let's take a look at this in a little more depth. So what can we do in the commercial cleaning industry to position ourselves differently, to stand apart from the competition? And instead of just talking about cleaning for health, we want to start cleaning for health and sustainability. So our competitors are talking about cleaning for appearance. We're talking about cleaning for health. And we're also talking about cleaning for sustainability, meaning we're talking about reducing the impact that we as an organization have on the environment, on people, and the ability to impact profits for your customers. So you're talking a completely different game. And when you're talking about a different game, you are able to create differentiation, which is going to be hopefully reflected in higher profitability. You want to add value so they sit back and say, I didn't realize that. I'm willing to spend an extra couple $100s a month to have this organization who's going to help me deliver these results, that's going to help me reduce these impacts, these risks that are associated, which is what we've been talking about and what we're going to continue talking about. So one of the things that we can do is to look at the materials we're using and the water consumption that we're using. So what can we do to reduce that impact? Now, one of the things we can do is look at reducing packaging size. So how can you reduce packaging size as a commercial cleaning organization? Well, think of it from the products that you use. So a very simple one is a lot of commercial cleaning companies like to use or do use 20-liter pails. 20-liter pails for floor finish, 20-liter pails for neutral cleaners. And a lot of the people that have been in the industry for a long time like to use them because they like to use the buckets for other things and things like that. But there's a couple different things that really impact the environment and our ability to position ourselves from sustainability when we're looking at using the products. So in this particular case, when we're talking about packaging size, when you traditionally are using a product that is a neutral cleaner or it is a general purpose cleaner or whatever it might be, and if it's in a 20-liter packaging size, what you really are doing is you're paying for water, because the let's just take a neutral cleaner as an example. The neutral cleaner is going to be the same if it's in a 1 liter container or if it's in a 20 liter container. The difference being is that the manufacturer has added water. So you very rarely are going to find a neutral cleaner that is in a 20 liter or a 5 gallon pail that dilutes at 1 to 256 or dilutes at even 100 to 28. It's usually going to be somewhere like 1 to 16, 1 to 32. And the reason for that is that they've just added water to the packaging. So you not only are paying for water, you're utilizing bigger packaging. You're getting those 20 liter pails. That's also going to cost you money in freight costs as well. But that's another conversation later. Just from a packaging standpoint, if you condense down to super concentrates, what that means is there's virtually no water in that 1 liter container. So you might sit back and say, oh, well, that 1 liter container, let's say, costs you $100 and you can get a 20 liter pail for $30. But the end use cost is going to be way cheaper using the concentrate. You're going to spend more up front, but you're going to pay less up front. Way you position that to your customers is that you're using super concentrates and you're weeding the water out. You're using as little water as possible. Now, that's from a product standpoint, but also from an auto scrubber standpoint, from an equipment standpoint. Are you using products that use less water, that use no water? So when you when you position this, when you mention this to your customer, you're able to create differentiation, and they're going, oh, I never thought of that. And we can now position that to our customers. We can position that to the marketplace. We can let them know that we have a better sustainability position because of the practices that you, the commercial cleaning company, have. So packaging size is something to look at. Now, the other thing is biodegradable containers. That's a big one. So there's a lot of distributors that are now offering picking up their products to kind of soften the environmental impact on the end user. But let's just say that you are using plastic containers, plastic pails that have a metal handle. Okay, many of the times those can't be recycled because of the handle. There's lots of packaging that has things on it that makes it so you can't just recycle it, or the material it's made of needs to be melted down, what have you. When you start looking at biodegradable containers, recyclable containers, it reduces the costs because they're to the environment because of that plastic being built up. You hear all the talk about, people trying to get away from using water bottles. Why trying to get away from using water bottles? Because they don't know what to do with all those bottles. In fact, a lot of countries actually put all their garbage on freight containers and ship them overseas to other countries who take it. So it's a real issue. So if we can position ourselves as someone that has thought of these things and offers these results and these solutions to your customer, again, we're having a completely different conversation. Now, I mentioned super concentrates, and again, super concentrates with the packaging size go hand in hand. So you can absolutely reduce your packaging substantially. Regardless if you use little tear packs, if you use little powder pucks, if you use super concentrates that dilute at 1:256. So I'm not going to get into the dilution rates right now, but what is 1:256? Well, 1:256 dilution rate, as an example, is a 1 ounce shot of whiskey, as an example, in 2 milk jugs, large milk jugs, okay, or 8 liters, if you will. So it's extremely concentrated as opposed to 1:32, which would mean 4 ounces in 1 milk jug. So you can see you're using less product and you're using a lot less water, right? So that is something to consider using those super concentrates. And finally, we want to use cold water. Now, water, is something that we want to use as little as possible. But in the cleaning industry, we do need to use water. And one of the cleaning principles that you use is tact, right? temperature, agitation, concentration, and time. So temperature is one of the four tactics, one of the four pillars to cleaning properly. So hot, as an example, you wouldn't wash your dishes in cold water, right? Because the hot water allows it to loosen the soils in the pots. So hot water helps in cleaning. But if we don't have hot water, we just have to increase other things. We have to increase time. We have to increase mechanical action. We have to increase the concentration of our products. So we can do a lot of cleaning without hot water. So that is something to consider. Also, the other things with hot water is it makes the ingredients just flash off as well in disinfectants, as an example. So there's a lot of things we can do to add value to our customers and for them to have a better sustainability position. And when you start taking all of these little things we're talking about, today we're talking about materials and water, but as we start talking about all the different things, II term W, right? That's what we've been talking about. Increasing productivity, right? Reducing turnover, all of these things, as you start to position yourself and bring them to the forefront, you are positioning yourself to your customer as someone that's helping them on the three pillars of sustainability. Now, regardless if they're interested in sustainability or not, everybody wants to reduce the impact and harmful risks to people, both their patrons and their customers. People want to reduce the impact that it has on the environment, and people want to improve profits. That's the three pillars of sustainability: people, planet, profits. So regardless if they're even interested in having a sustainability position, they're interested in improving the impact and reducing the impact on their people, to reducing the impact on the environment, and to improving profitability. So it is a win-win situation. You just have to bring it to your customers' attention. And when you do that, you position yourself differently. Now, if you found this of value, please hit like. And in the description below, there is a free course that is going to take you from getting leads to engaging leads to converting leads. And we do a lot of deep diving on this exact topic. Click the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.